Well, after that impressive win in match number 1, John Palmer will now take on Brian Ferger in match number 2 with the winner to advance to knock off our returning champion, Michael Weber. And it'll be Brian Ferger, 44 years old, from Buffalo, New York, with a .219 league average that will get us started. And he's got a good cheering section on hand here at Island Lane, so I'm sure you're going to hear them.
Well, he has to prove he knows what he's talking about, right? He's got his team out there.
That's right. Oh, how about that? You question my abilities, Sunavoyski? And there you can see he is the girls bowling coach at local Niagara Wheatfield High School. You saw them sitting in the front row there with the Go Brian sign, and we'll get a
wearing their uniforms.
Wearing their uniform. We'll get a good shot of them coming up when Brian returns. So, boy, very impressive, ending with 8 consecutive strikes for John Palmer on the way to that 260, and both guys look like they are locked in.
Lefty-lefty. This is the first lefty-lefty we've had.
The first one. You're right. Give that right side of the those boards on the right side of the lane a little break here. And we have talked throughout the month here that one of the interesting challenges, something we don't see very often, is these boards, the synthetic boards that make up the lanes here at Island Lanes, are only about a year old, and there's characteristics that come with new boards that the bowlers have had to adjust to.
Yeah, well, the bowlers that had bowled here for years bowled on, old wood lanes, and the transition between what they had bowled on and what they went to is like extreme. And
that's a big transition, right?
Is.
That's like going from grass to artificial turf and playing football or baseball.
Yeah, it's as big as it gets, and it's like I said, in show 1, when you go to get your equipment drilled up, because equipment is super important. There they are.
Yeah, there's the Niagara Wheatfield High School girls bowling team cheering on their coach.
Yep. The equipment is so important in this game that where you bowl and what you bowl on is critical information for the person drilling your bowling ball.
So that's the biggest transition that any bowler is going to have in lane conditions, to go from either wood to synthetic or synthetic to wood.
Sure. I've had teams come over, give me a call, and the first thing I tell them is, you're going to need different equipment than where you came from. It's real important to know so that you're not unhappy when you bowl in a bowling center. It's all manageable. You just have to have the right equipment in your hand.
Without getting too specific, what are the differences? What does synthetic want and need that wood doesn't, and vice versa?
Well, synthetic is plastic, and plastic skids. So you put the oil on it, and the ball just slides, where wood absorbs the oil, and it's porous. So the ball will hook earlier, and it'll start to make its move earlier. It's just the exact opposite. It'll spray down the lane on plastic. It'll start to read the lane on wood. Nice shot.
That's the first non-strike here in this match from John, who will have to take care of the 7-pin. Does anybody still do wood lanes anymore?
Well, I have wood lanes, yeah.
But I mean, does you still do, not that you don't have them, does anyone still do them anymore?
Not that I know of.
Like if you were going to replace yours, you'd replace them with synthetic.
I would absolutely do that, yes.
Yeah. Just because they wear better and they hold up better.
They would.
Yeah, and guess what? Next week we're going to get a good look at your wood, at your old wood lanes, because that's where we're headed. Cherry Laurel Lanes in Amherst, New York, owned by my broadcast partner here, Sue Navoyski. That's where the show will head to for a week-long stop next month. Mike Mallwitz has raised the bar here. Are you ready to respond?
Well, hopefully they know how to play them. If they make the show, they're going to have played the lanes properly. So I'll be able to give you a full report, though. I'll tell you that.
Gotcha. So nobody does wood lanes anymore unless you've had them and have them forever.
No, they're important. They're expensive to maintain, and there's just not that many people around that do it anymore. Like the guy that we had ours done this year prior to the bowling season, and
sanded, you mean?
Yep, they have to sand them down and start the whole coating process all over again. And the guy that does it, best at it, is well into his 80s, and he's just not going to be able to do it forever. And it's harder and harder to find people that do that because there's so few lanes that have it.
When did that transition happen in the bowling industry? Look at that
Wow.
roll for Brian Ferger.
Okay. Now John Palmer's like, what do
Yeah.
I have to do?
When did that transition happen? How many years ago did it go from everybody making the move to synthetic from wood?
Oh, I think it's been a gradual process. There's still some wood lanes in this area for sure. I think it's just been how old is the bowling center? A lot of these bowling centers were built in the 50s and 60s, you know, so those change. There's only a certain amount of years you're going to get out of the wood lanes. I think I've been told I have 10. I don't know if I really have that many years left on it. But they can cut to a certain point, and then there's just no wood left to work with.
Gotcha. All right, good. Good little lesson there on the surfaces. We talk so much about the impact of the surfaces that appreciate all the info there. Meanwhile, as we're talking about wood and synthetic, we should be talking about strikes because Brian Ferger has hit 5 of them through the first 5 frames.
Well, when you're lucky enough to catch a break like he did on the right lane, it's always nice to make that break work by throwing a good shot on the next shot. So.
And meanwhile, John Palmer has strikes in 3 of his first 4 frames, make it 4 of 5. Everybody striking here so far. So these guys have done their research onto wood and synthetic or whatever else they need to know.
You know what? We'll have
they're
to
dialed in.
We'll have to look at the scores and see if I know we've had some high scores. If most of those high scores were left-handers, because it's almost feeling like even though there's good scoring pace for everybody, the left-handers might have a little advantage in the scoring pace.
And another strike. We are on our way to what could be an epic matchup between these two guys. Come on back and see how this one finishes up. 6th frame for Brian Ferger, perfect through 5. He's got 14 career 300 games and a high 836 series, bowled right here at Island Lanes. Tonawanda, New York, USBC Bowler of the Year last year, and 2023 Tonawanda USBC City Tournament champion. So this is a real dude, and he is putting on a real dude show right now.
Yep, he can't let his girls down. You know, I have to tell you, when you're bowling and the person is pushing you, you're not really thinking about the amount of strikes that you have in a row. You're thinking, I have to strike on this shot. And it actually makes it less conscious of how many strikes you really have in a row, because you really have to, he's really being pushed to have to strike on every shot.
Well, he's got 6 in a row right now, and the Go Brian signs and crowd are pushing him to success right now. And
a little
the
slow.
streak comes to an end.
That was a little slow.
Now, what causes that? Just come off his hand funny, or just something different in his motion?
You can just tell by the ball reaction that was slow, and it was really probably just a little less aggressive on his part.
All right. Let's see if he can show those young bowlers that he coaches how to pull off a crazy spare here.
Well, he's on a double, so count's important. So if you want to teach a lesson, the lesson is to get the count.
All right, so after 6 consecutive strikes, it's an open 8 pins here in the 7th frame, and maybe that's the door opener that John Palmer needs to jump through, because he has 3 in a row and 5 of 6. How about 4 in a row?
He can take the lead here with a strike.
How fast?
Actually, he takes the lead. Either as long as he marks, he takes the lead in the match.
How fast things change. You got one guy who starts with 6 straight strikes, and here we are in the 7th frame, and somebody can take the lead back from him. And he does. That's a 5-bagger for John Palmer.
Yep, and a 17-pin lead. What a turnaround.
Incredible, huh? I mean, you're watching one guy and you're thinking, man, does he have a 300 in him here? And all of a sudden now he's Now he's
Now
down
he's-
double digits
yep.
in the eighth frame. Brian Ferger's first ever coach, the legendary Nin Angelo, and that is royalty in Buffalo bowling, and royalty as far as this show goes. And now Brian's got it back again. Remember, this show, Beat the Champ, dates back to the 1960s, and the all-time record for consecutive weeks won is Nin Angelo with 19 in a row in 1970 and 1971. No one has ever won more weeks in a row than Nin Angelo's 19, and that is why he is, if there's like, if Beat the Champ had like a Mount Rushmore or like a crest, Nin Angelo's smiling face would be on it. And again, if the name sounds familiar to you, former PBA bowler Brad Angelo is Nin's son. That's a good question. I'm not going to hit you up with maybe next week when you're in your home turf. We're going to ask you who's on the Beat the Champ Mount Rushmore of bowlers. Nin gets one spot, so there's 3 up available.
That's a great question.
Remind me to ask you about that next week. I'm going to write that down. And we'll let our crew and our producer Joe Ciccone chime in on that as well too.
I mean, there's been a lot of installations of Beat the Champ, so.
Yeah, I think probably your answer will be not dissimilar to who would be on the Buffalo bowling Mount Rushmore, because most of those guys have been part of this show as well too. John Palmer, 6 in a row. We don't know if he's ready for Mount Rushmore, but we're going to put him on the hill leading up to it if he keeps this up. And the streak comes to an end here in the 10th frame.
So, Brian will have a chance. He will have a chance to get up and win this match.
All right, that's all you ever want, right? You only want to go to the 10th frame with a chance to win. And again, just that one. Again, we talked about Brian losing the lead. How about John's on a roll, and it's one pin might be the difference in this whole thing.
Great spare, because he definitely wants to force Brian to get up and double, and he needed that spare to do that.
Yep. And John seems a little annoyed at himself about it, because he could be sitting in that chair thinking about his next match
already. Posted up at 258 against a guy that had the front 6 against him. He still has a chance to win. I don't know he can be too mad.
No.
These corner pins have been a nemesis all month long. And
how about that for finishing strong? How about that for following up a 260 with a 258? So here's what Brian Ferger needs in the 10th frame, and it's not going to be easy. He needs 2 strikes and 7 pins. The 7 pins is the easy part. The double is the challenge.
The good news is he has not struck on this lane.
No, that's true. He's had strikes in every frame except an open in the 7th.
Which was on the left lane.
And it might not be enough to win. And oh my goodness!
Oh my!
He didn't like it from the minute it left his hands.
It was high. He wouldn't have liked it. It was. He has caught a couple breaks like that. He caught one early too.
You could see him walking away.
That was high.
How did that 7 pin come down?
Good pin collision. I did not see what hit it. You're right.
Look at him. He knows. He knew he wasn't happy.
Thank you very much. Oh, that got a love tap.
Yeah, sure did. All right, one strike down. He needs this one. That one looked better all the way. And now all Brian Ferger. What did I say? The easy part should be the 7 pins that he needs. He did the hard part. And speaking of hard, how about hard luck if John Palmer's 258 isn't enough?
What does he have to do? That was a pretty solid game that he put up.
All right, let's see. 7 pins to win for Brian Ferger and send him off to our championship match. And he will get 9, and it's a win. What a back and forth battle between these two guys. How about 261 to 258? And celebration for Brian Ferger. He's got one more match in him. Come on back.